All right, so Carly, Katelyn, and Claire, we're going to talk a little bit about market stats, what's happening in Toronto GTA, and then Katelyn's going to go through our training program, I think, for the fall. We're back to school, back to work. Everybody is back. So welcome back.
Yeah, we got a big room, so obviously everyone's back in action.
Yeah, it's really good to see everybody. Welcome, welcome. And then we're going to celebrate afterwards with some ice cream courtesy of Marin.
Warm summer day.
Still here. We're hanging on to it. Thanks, Marin. And maybe we'll get you to chime in a little bit too on mortgage world stuff as well. All right. So Claire, do you want to kick us off with some stats, or you want to find out what's happening?
Let's just talk about the market itself. First of all, we've got a bunch of people in here today, which you didn't have last week or the week before. So I assume now that the kids are all back in school and everybody's in routines, is this what's going on? Yes?
Yeah.
Nelson's telling me here over the weekend there that that people come alive again, that they're starting to inquire about different things and whatnot, and people doing deals, asking questions about what? About pricing or strategies or clauses, conditions. Okay, so that's encouraging. That's a good thing. I was looking at the broker-based stats just to see what's going on with the appointments and that, and I see a bit of an upsurge since on Friday or so. So so I see the appointments increasing. So that tells me that maybe the buyers out there took a positive reaction to the reduction in the interest rates. So that's the impression we get.
I think so, yeah.
What do you guys tell me? Do you guys think that there's any difference now that the rates dropped another quarter point last week? Do you guys find any buyers that sort of maybe put up their hand a little bit? I see a couple of shakes here and there. Starting to see that. That's 3 in a row. That's pretty encouraging. A lot of people said, well, it's only a quarter point. Quarter point's not enough. It should be a half a point. Well, add all 3 together, it's 3/4 of a point. The savings per $100,000, I think, Sandeep, somebody told me that was $15 per quarter point per $100,000. Does that sound right for everybody else?
Yeah.
So that would mean that for $100,000 for the last, since June, then we've dropped $75 per month per 100,000. So it's better than a kick in the pants, right? So it's there. But I think everybody still agree though that the market would be much stronger if we had a bit of adjustment to the price. I hate saying that live, right?
No, that's what we need though.
I don't know, because the prices still seem to be there. But anyways, it seems to be positive. 4.5% decrease. The next announcement is going to be, I'm not sure.
End of
Anybody know October 23rd? Okay, and how about the CPI? How about the cost of living announcements? Anybody have any feel for that? Because the cost of living went 2.5 last time they announced it, so that was encouraging. That's why the interest rates dropped themselves. So you got to pay attention to the CPI. The government wants that down to 2%. Right now it's 2.5. So keep an eye on that as that comes in, as that goes, then you'll find the interest rates going. I was just I'm going to stick to stats here for a little bit here. We don't want to spend a whole lot of time, but
you got time. We just got started.
yeah, okay. So sales for last month, unfortunately, it was 4,975. So it's the second time this year that we've been below 5,000. And below 5,000 is more or less what you'd see during December or Christmas. In those months there, you'd see those types of numbers. So it's not huge, but it's there. So we're actually down 5.3% from last year. Active listings are up 46%. Active listings last year had about 15,000, this year about 23,000. So active listings are up quite a bit. This is an important number. The important number is the months of inventory. Months of inventory right now is 4.6. And we've always said that, I've always said somewhere around 4, some people said 6, but somewhere around 4, anything over 4 would be the difference between a buyer's market and seller's market. So now we're starting to get a bit into a buyer's market right now. Who's got listings right now and not selling? Anybody here? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So we've had this simple strategy we talked about a long time. It's called the 21-day strategy. If the property hasn't sold, or if you had 21 showings and it hasn't sold, then a price adjustment. So keep emotions out of it. It doesn't really matter whether the market's this or interest rates that. Schools in, schools out, doesn't really matter. The fact is it's been in the market for 21 days, it hasn't been sold. You have to do something. Do a price adjustment is my recommendation. On the condominium side, who's got condominiums that aren't selling?
Probably a lot of it.
So if you think the 4.55 is bad, then try 6 to 1. right? So condominiums are inventory is 6 to 1. So in other words, it's going to take 6 months to sell that one listing. You just put it in perspective. Months of inventory means 6 months. So a lot of people are saying, hey, the property hasn't sold after 21 days. What am I going to do? Well, okay, you're in for a ride here, right? Right?
Yeah.
And there's particular pockets, and you have to look at the neighborhood. It's not, it's not every neighborhood that's struggling, but certain some are. If I think one in particular would be what's our friend on Niagara Street? What's that area called?
East, like
Like Fort York or East York?
Liberty Village.
Liberty Village area, right? Liberty Village seems to be has a surplus of inventory, and we're still trying to sell some stuff. And what's being sold is a ridiculous price. I think there was a power sale that went for one building went for like 450 or 480, something like that. It was a stupid price. But unfortunately, it was the last price that was sold.
So it sets the precedence for the next
So it's not, it's not the 600 anymore. It's in the fives, right? So that's the problem there. Average price is held in there. It's $1,074,000. Last year was $1,082,000, so it's down about 0.8%. Not a whole lot, but what it is down since June. We've had 3 price declines, average price declines since June. So 1, 2, 3, it's all been 3 in a row. So you're seeing price reductions come in. They're not going up, they're going down. So if you've got a listing that's sitting there that's not selling, you could wait, but you're going to wait, I said 6 months or 4.5 months, or adjust the price and try to move it up a little bit. So that's something you have to do. Prime lender rate is about 6.7. 6.7 is the prime lender rate, 7.2 last year, so it's gone down quite a bit, right? Got Marin here today, Marin. So what's the favor right now as far as interest rates go? What can you get for a variable? What can you get for a fixed?
Variable probably about prime minus 7 to prime minus 1. Depends on the lender. Fixed mid-4s.
Mid-4s.
So variably mid.
3 or 5 year term.
So I was talking to a friend of mine there, and he's with TD Bank, and TD Bank's got a renewal, and they're encouraging him to go for 3-year fixed. Well, what's a 3-year fixed rate?
You can get 4.9, 4.9, 4.6.
4.9 and a
4.59.
4.59, and a variable rate is how much?
Prime minus
What-
5.6.
5.6. So the variable rate is 5.6 and your fixed rate is 4.5. So what would you take? Would you take a variable rate or take a fixed rate?
Very.
Let me say that again. Fixed rate was 4.5 and variable rate was
4.6. Let's say 4.6.
4.6. Okay, so it's only 0.1 difference?
Almost 1%.
All right.
1%. You'll make that 1% hopefully.
So everybody's going variable. Is that the idea? That's what we're telling our clients?
I think it's an opportunity cost there. Like you have option to lock it in when the rates come down. In a variable.
But if you take a variable at 4.6, right, and you want to lock in, what are you locking in at? Still think so? Yeah. Okay. So that's encouraging. So does it seem high? It doesn't seem high to me. Like 4.5 is 4.6 seems cheap. I guess if you got a 1.5, it seems like a lot, but 1.5 was not realistic, I don't think. But
Yeah.
oh, it's interesting. Toronto condo sales plummet almost 15%. So the sales for condos went down. We know that. And experts predict that the housing market will ramp up this fall as prices and rates continue to drop. Right?
Yeah, that's what we all hope for.
Does anybody have any listings that aren't selling they want to talk about right now? No? No, Scott, you're good.
Not selling. I don't know what I want to talk about.
We're all traumatized.
We all list them for $1 and do a Percy Fulton bid
Sale? It's a
offer
Percy
day.
Fulton sale.
One day Percy Fulton mega sale.
There's a strategy that doesn't work. You could offer $1 and it still doesn't work.
No, at least try
Well,
something.
because it just cuts you out of so many
well,
searches.
Basically,
People get
And
confused.
people don't know
Yeah.
what you're doing.
buying agents have a hard time establishing value. So they sees $1, they're not going to spend the time in value. So
No.
Yeah.
anyways.
I have 2 properties teetering on power sale.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
We've heard a few.
So
of
it's funny how the public is. We had a couple like that. A couple of clients are in the middle of power sale and keep on telling them, reduce your price, and they don't want to reduce their price. So that they'd rather
Well,
get
they reduce prices. It still doesn't create
Huh.
any action where the one condo is $85,000. Basically, there's no equity in there to cover. Well, he's got a little bit left, but not a lot.
Interesting.
By
Good.
that no power of sale, they can sit in the unit or the house for another year, whatever, they're not paying anything and save that money. I've got people doing that right now.
Yeah, they're just using the system just to live cheap.
Time
Yeah.
in the courts and whatever, you know, because they're not gonna get anything out of it if they let the bank take it over and. Or if they actually sell it on MLS at 30-60 day closing and they pay everybody out there like a few thousand versus before.
And the message is the same for power of sales too. Like let your clients know not to wait until it turns into a power of sale, because after that you have no control. You can't put it on the market. It's going to be in the control of the lender. But before that, you do have some control, right? So don't hide from the lender. Let them know you're putting it on the market. You're working towards something. They're most likely going to let you ride that out. We have a client that wasn't paying a mortgage for almost 8 months and didn't tell us until 4 months into that. Still wasn't paying, but it didn't go power of sale. We were able to sell it. It's going to close, but she was just right on the edge. And I don't know why, they should.
Well, we also had to change the strategy halfway in between where we had it listed at what would have made her profitable. And then we had to drop it and do a drastic offer night and all that stuff to do it.
Yeah,
So
don't wait till it's too late. Talk to your lenders and work something out. We're talking about interest rates. Is it going to fix the housing crisis? I'm not totally convinced. There's some articles that sort of agree with that. There's a lot of other things that are happening in our market rather than just interest. Still, the cost of building is way too high. So developers are not motivated to help us build right now. Government's not helping us build. CMHC hasn't built anything in a number of years, right? I'm hearing from builders. I talked to some, I've got some friends that work for builders, and now they're turning previous projects into purpose-built rentals, but they need partners to be able to do that. And they can't find partners that are willing to help them with the equity that they need to get it done. So everyone's really at a standstill right now. And it's unfortunate, but it's not just about interest rates. We need other things to help, push along prices.
Overhaul the LTV in Ontario.
It's true. I was looking at prices, even Katelyn and I were talking about this a little bit, like Claire just mentioned, average price right now for August is just $1,000,000, let's say 70. 2023 was a bit higher, but we're pretty much priced right now the same as August 2022 and August 2021. So if you're looking at pricing too, you can compare it to those, but we're definitely higher than 2020. And that's where there's an issue because it's just not affordable for people to buy houses right now. So something needs to give. Claire said prices need to come down. I know sellers don't want that to happen, but it is what's going to help drive the market and help people get into the market a little bit. But yeah, too expensive to build right now. And so everyone's sort of at a standstill waiting to get in, especially with condos. It's really devastating right now. There is a province that is doing really well at new starts though. And most of your clients, or a lot of them might be asking you about that, but that's in Alberta. Alberta has a ton of new starts, are 30% higher than they were even last year. So something's happening in Alberta where builders have enough incentive to build and they're building new housing starts. So that's for new construction though.
although I did speak to one of our referral partners in Alberta last week, and he said their market in the last couple of months has taken a little bit of a more balanced approach. So it's not as hot as it was. So
Yeah.
the feet on the streets out there is saying it's not as crazy as it was.
news.
So they're starting to see the slowdown now that probably we saw in the last couple of years.
Yeah. So another impact of the market softening a little bit is your own colleagues are starting to get out of the realtor market. They're starting to let their licenses lapse. So they saw a bit of a decrease. It still wasn't much. It was 1,600 agents only did not renew their RICO. So it's down from July. There's still 73,000 realtors on the Toronto board. So it's still a lot, but it is the first time since 2016 that they saw a decrease in realtor registration. So we just had our RICO renewal. We ourselves saw a little bit of a fallout, not too much. Some people are getting out of the business, some people are retiring altogether, but across the board, they saw a little bit of a decrease. And that is due to the market not being as lucrative as it was in the past 2 years where you could get your license and sell some homes. People are understanding that this is a career and sort of the top producers will be seen out of that in markets like this. So we have many agents here that have been through way worse markets, especially along this side here. You guys have seen it all already. So for you, it's not a big deal. I'm sorry. It's no, I can right here too. Around the perimeter, get into that middle seat. No, but you guys have seen it all. So I don't know, Claire, if you have anything to comment on that, but it wasn't a huge decline, but a little bit of a decline since
Just last time we had a decline in membership was the 1990s, and it was a 25% drop.
That's big. That's a way bigger drop than that.
That would be nice.
1990s, yeah, 25% drop in realtors.
That would mean the board, right?
Yeah, the market did that. Yeah. I mean, the market, well, the sales dropped too. Everything dropped 25%, but a lot of realtors got in the business to make, to make bucks. I think a lot of people came in the business this time around to be what I call a for sale by owner
Do
agent.
their own. That's probably why we didn't see as big of a drop, because most of the agents coming into the business are going part-time as well. So they have jobs to be able to support
Yeah.
those fees that you guys are all paying versus if you're just full-time real estate relying on the sales, it's a little different now.
It's a bad joke. I've had a lot of full-time agents come to me saying, we should get rid of all the part-time agents. And if the market takes a dip, all the part-time agents will disappear.
They got
And I
jobs.
always say, wait a minute here, the part-time agents have jobs to pay these dues.
Yeah.
You better worry about yourself.
Yeah. So it's just a little different.
It's true.
We're
So
gonna be recruiting now at the airport, say.
I guess so.
We've already been doing it.
This is a bit random, but something that I came across is our MPAC. We haven't had an assessment since 2016. We were supposed to have one in 2020. COVID kind of screwed that up a little bit, but we still have had no assessments since that time. The only time MPAC might have assessed it is with a new purchase. So they are keeping an eye on sales and seeing how it deferred, and they are keeping an eye on renovations. But if you've been having the same house before 2016, haven't done anything, haven't traded, your taxes haven't been assessed yet. And so there's a bit of a loom of like, when's that going to happen and what's the impact going to be? And I think there's going to be a combination of winners. There's going to be people that actually have less taxes, and there might be a lot of people that unfortunately have more and are not prepared for that. So talk to your clients about that. They've been pushing the government to give us an answer. They have no foreseeable time frame. And we're actually the only province, I think, that has done it like that. There's other provinces that have been doing regular assessments even through COVID. So it's a bit unique. But we might get slapped with some big property tax bills in a couple of years. We don't know when that's going to happen.
Money in our pockets right now, there's no money to put anywhere. So.
That's right. So they're going to, and they have the data. They know, like even MPAC has said residential properties that increased 94% in value. Multiple residence properties have increased 104%. So they have stats. They have enough data to do what they need to do, but
Maybe they might know it might be a bad move if they do it.
yeah, they may be waiting, I guess, for a better market or something, but just something to keep in mind. Claire, do you have anything you want to bounce off?
Just random things as well. No, I just printed this out because I thought it was funny. There's well, not funny. There's a car crash in I think Durham last week.
Yeah.
Oh,
And a lot of people slowed down to have a look. So a cop was sitting on the shoulder watching people taking pictures of the car accident on their car phones, like on their phones. 16 people got charged $615 each for using their phones while they were driving.
so don't do that.
So don't do that.
They're slowing down traffic too.
I thought this was a good headline on an article. It's Globe and Mail. And the Globe and Mail is funny. Like, I don't know. You try to get Globe and Mail articles, even Toronto Star articles, any articles. You have to pay for registrations now. You can't get free articles anymore,
No.
right? So it's.
I'm gonna start asking you for your passwords.
Like SAG here is just telling right now. There's a builder downtown that they won't allow lock boxes in the building, but you got to pay them $100 to hold your key, and they'll hold it in security.
Fairview Mall.
This is happening all over. We
Fairview
talked
Mall.
about it last meeting in Mississauga. Nelson just told me another one in Scarborough is doing the same thing, $100
Harrison, $80 a month.
a month.
$80 a
$80 a
month.
month.
$20 a month.
Actually, they should charge for the lock boxes because what happened, the property sell is in never.
You leave it.
Lock box, they have 200 lock.
You just go snip them off.
They can keep it.
Just go snip it off. That's not,
But this is the problem with this.
you know, it doesn't need to be $80 a month though to do that.
No, nothing.
Yeah.
It's sitting there.
It's a nice little
Yeah.
profit center for.
I talked about that last week. I have a condo downtown, and I have a lockbox down there in case I ever want it. So it's still sitting there. It's not for sale or lease or anything, but the
For the
lockbox is
next
there.
You're gonna get a bill, $80 a month for that
Probably
thing.
clipped off.
Still worth it
Anyways,
for you.
this Globe Mail says here, the headline says home seller advice. Somebody's going to drop their prices. Might as well be you.
It's true.
And that's what they're talking about. Like everybody's sitting there saying like nothing's up. Does anybody have any buildings like condos in particular? Everybody's sitting there, nobody sold.
Everyone's like waiting for
Everybody's
somebody to
waiting
sell.
for somebody to drop. So there's the article saying it might as well be you. Somebody's going to have to do
It's
it.
gonna have to do it, yeah.
Nothing's happening, so it's going to have to do it.
That's true. I've heard a lot of people having a hard time talking to their sellers about this. Like it's like agents, we don't want to give bad news. We're used to always giving good and exciting news. And now we're at a point where we have to give some hard news. But something that I've learned is, you know, give sellers some space to breathe, like give them the news, be direct, let them sleep on it, let them settle in. And I've seen 2 deals last week go go conditional just because they let the seller sort of breathe and mull it over.
Take
And
the emotion out of
you
it
know,
as
it
the
was
agent.
25 grand to 100 grand hits and they slept on it. And then within, that time they said, okay, we're ready to accept it. But you have to give them that space to sort of breathe and come down to reality and don't be scared to give them the bad news. They hired you to be direct with
But
them,
also
so
let
it's
them
your
make
job.
that decision, right? A lot
Their
of agents
decision.
are always asked, like, they think that you guys think you have to make the decision on that price, but you just giving advice and let the seller make that decision and take that pressure off yourself too, right?
Yeah, you just give them a platter of options and they're going to decide, right?
Isn't there a strong rule in listing back down 600,000?
Could be,
Could be.
yeah, that could be strategy to not value. That could be strategy listing low, so it's just doing something
It was
to,
high, then it came down.
Yeah.
yeah.
So maybe the
They might
seller wanted that price. He's like, I'll try it for a certain amount of days. And then after that, you're going to my price. So it could have been that conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So two articles I read here just regarding going back to pre-construction, things like that. Is anybody involved in the pre-construction? Like if everybody reads anything about pre-construction, they're gonna tell you that new build pre-construction is down like what, 27 or no, 60%.
I read 60%.
60% down, crazy numbers, right?
Shares are down.
Units.
Sales are down. So what this guy here is saying here, this article, what a perfect time for you as an agent, investor, or your clients as agent investors, look at these assignments here. There's people out there selling stuff that they bought 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And they put $80,000, $120,000 cash down and they want out. So this agent here is
Let the money go.
saying that there's opportunities out there that you can take over their deposit and close the deal for them. Buy it at 4-year-old prices, like with no profit. Buy it at a loss, but there's opportunities out there if you've got some money out there and they're saying here, buy low, sell high. This is somebody, if you have some cash out there that you might want to consider doing the pre-construction and get yourself a deal.
I will say though, be careful what you do buy because there are builders that are not going through with these projects. So I've got a list of 5 that are about to go under receivership. So don't just buy anything because it's cheap.
These are built. Ready
But
to
just be
close.
careful what you buy. And also for commissions, if you're an agent buying it for yourself, don't expect to get paid in a timely manner. Even though you have a broker referral agreement that says when you're going to get paid, for some reason, they do not pay on time. I had a builder last week. Everything's due, mortgage approvals in, 10% deposits in, and they flat out said, because of the real estate market, we're not in a position to pay commissions.
Are there no thing that they have to
Yeah.
follow regarding?
Go-
They're like, take me to court.
Take me to court,
Yeah.
fight
They're
it.
saying not
right?
paying at all.
They are not paying first payment was owed. They are not paying commissions.
I've had this
First payment.
I've had
First
this
payment.
many times, and what happens here is that we're considered unsecured creditors. So in other words, if a guy decides not to pay, we're an unsecured creditor, we get in line with everybody else.
Yeah.
The cabinet maker or the
Yeah.
boiler maker or
Good luck.
the carpet guy, everybody else, we get
The
in line.
solution is stop selling.
No, I'm not saying so. Just don't bank on that for your regular cash flow income. It's going to be a bonus when you get paid, and I will fight it for you. And me and Laura have a lot that we fight on. But don't calculate that commission up to a certain date because it's not going to be
Don't
there.
spend the money until.
That's right.
There you go. Don't
It's
depend on
going to be a
it,
nice
yeah.
little bonus when it comes in.
It's funny, I have our sales reports and that, I don't include pre-construction on our sales reports because I don't want to jinx them.
It's true.
And then this woman here took advantage of that project in Pickering, Millennium, no, what's it called?
UC Tower or which?
The
The Grand,
Grand.
yep.
The Grand is part of Universal.
Yes.
And what they're doing right now, that builder is offering 1.99%
Mortgage.
vendor take
Vendor
back
take back.
mortgage for the whole amount, not just a little bit, for 3 years. And it's a VTB mortgage. So this article here is talking about how this woman, she already owns a place in Markham. This is an investment property for her. She bought this place and with 1.99% mortgage rate, and it's 3 years after it registered, not 3 years from today. So she's got herself a good situation. She figures that in 3 years' time, things will change and away she goes.
And that's the builders banking on the fact that by 2027, the rates will come down.
That's very high.
They're very high.
So even if you look at the calculate, it's just difference in the cost of mortgage, pay down, still not.
Yeah.
worthwhile.
But in her case here, she's saying here that bank rate of 6.95%. Brian, what would that be? 6.9.
3 year later bank rate would be 3.5%.
And then so $600,000 mortgage at 6.95 has a payment of 4,100. This payment here at 199 has a payment of 2,500 for 3 years. So she's gambling that it's going to pay off,
So that's a $90,000 buy down.
right?
Based on current.
Yeah, so and they're gonna do that. So rather than reducing the prices, they're gonna give you these incentives instead. Right? So that's so basically it's a $90,000 reduction in price.
Saying 6%, 10%, sell one and they get 5, 6%, 8%, 10%.
Yeah, oh yeah, they've got all kinds of things out there, but look
People
at
giving away pizza.
Yeah, everyone's doing a little something.
just so you know, a $500,000 mortgage in the States at a 30-year AM is costs about $2,500. In Canada here, it'd be about $2,600. So it's about the same.
Good. Do you have anything else on stats? Because mine are more related to random
No, you go.
stuff. Okay, this is a bit sort of random. It might affect people that are developing, but the Ontario Building Code is changing January 2025. So it sounds like they're making it a little bit more complicated to get stuff done. That's the sort of feedback that I read on the article, but they're changing things to be more sustainable energy focused as well and adding those things into the code. So things like waste management, sustainable building materials, water efficiencies, enhanced fire safety measures. So these are all things that might affect your rental apartments as well when they're building them. So just keep an eye out for that if you've got people that are flipping, developing, or renting, that the building code is going to be changing in 2025 and hasn't been changed in like 20 years. I think 2012 was the last time they changed the building code. Probably fun for builders.
It's so confusing. They try and tell the builders to build. Now they're giving more of the stuff here. Man.
So the comments of that article are going crazy. Like we're supposed to be trying to help build more affordable housing, and now we've got a whole booklet full of more rules that we're going to have to follow and confusing permit processes, and it's going to be in a bit of a gray area until everybody gets on board with the new code as well, because who's going to enforce it, right? It's up to the cities. So it's going to be interesting as well. This news, I didn't hear a lot of rumble about it. It feels like it's from the 20s. It's such a weird thing.
I'm pumped for this.
I feel like I need like a little ringer bell.
That's
This is a town hall, but as of September 5th last week, you could buy beer and wine and cocktails at convenience stores.
I celebrate.
That's some good news.
I'm never leaving my
Isn't it
community.
weird though, eh? Like I was reading LCBO started in 1927, and since then Ontario's had it all regulated. So now convenience stores, so Circle K and all the smaller ones
US can buy
in like Quebec as well, and like most countries
places.
in the world that doesn't regulate everything, right? So you can buy these things at grocery stores. They're going to do combination of like local breweries, but even that's sort of hard for the local small breweries because now they got to distribute to tons of smaller stores as opposed to like bigger stores. But it's going to be a combination of domestic and international, and I guess each place will have their own buying process of what they want to include in their store. So they'll pay attention to trends and what people are buying. But I did read it's also going to be more expensive than buying it at the LCB or beer stores. Slightly more still though. So of course there's always more.
You gotta pay for convenience.
That's true. One more thing and we'll pass it off to Katelyn, more broker of record kind of stuff. We've been seeing a lot of naughty agents out there, including our own. So a bit of a trick question for you. When you do a deal, how soon do you need to get your documentation over to us in the deal admin department?
Very wrong.
Day before closing, you may not get paid. Literally immediately, even if it's conditional, anytime money is exchanged into trust accounts, we need records of that immediately.
What if it's a buyer deal? Then
Immediately. Every time money is exchanged, deposits are given on both sides, we need records of that. Let's say buyer side, you end up needing to do a mutual release. We need copies of that stuff to be able to keep that on file. We can't just have a mutual release and process that, right? So we need the agreement. We've been seeing a lot of people get it to us maybe a month before closing. So it sounds like it's okay, except that like we have a whole process and hundreds of other deals. It's not just your deal sliding in and Laura and Samantha are just waiting, for that deal. Like they're literally 8 hours a day grinding out, inputting deals and leases for you guys. And so when it comes in late, it screws up the whole queue. And by the way, we have a process. We need to invoice either the cooperating broker for your commission, or if it's the listing side, we need to invoice the lawyer for your commission. So the risk of not getting it to us in time means that we're not invoicing people properly for your commissions. And we've had deals close out because we didn't have paperwork. We're just trying to get it done. And those people didn't get paid. Now you're chasing brokerage and lawyers for commission.
Every September, what we do for you guys for like the last few years is we do back to school for you. It's really just to kind of get your mindset back. The kids are back to school. It's always kind of a nice time to kind of refresh everything and start from scratch. It's almost like the new January for real estate agents, especially with the fall market. So last year we did the Systems for Success course. I think, how many of you guys went to that last year? I think I had a bunch of you guys. It was just 5 days where we went over the 5 systems that I think every agent should have. I liked the 5 days. It was quick, it was easy, but what I think we're going to switch it up this year a little bit. So we have a lot of jam-packed sessions coming for you guys.
Sorry, only online can see. For some reason, it's not sharing behind me here.
Okay, sorry guys, you're just gonna have to listen to me then. So I've got posters all around. It started today. Today's our back to school, but we are including these Monday sessions as well. So all of our Monday meetings will be part of the back to school. So every Monday with us, we're gonna be doing the same thing, articles and stuff like that, but we'll also give you some sort of tips. So if you guys have been thinking about coaching or anything like that, or you need someone to hold you accountable, we've been doing every week on Mondays at 12 o'clock with Chris Leader. He's a real estate coach. We hold the sessions here. But I know we're going to conference next couple of weeks, and he's going to be having a package for you guys as well. It's $30 a month is what we pay to have these played at the office. I can't give you guys all accounts. Unfortunately, it's $30 an account, but he is going to give you guys access for 30 days for free to kind of test it out. So that's 4 sessions that you get to listen to him every Monday. If you decide that you like him, then you can either continue to pay $30 a month and watch it from home, or you can come to the office before this meeting every Monday as well. And I've been really liking the sessions. I know they're not like crazy busy or anything like that lately, but he goes over lots of like sales skills, scripts, listing presentations, mindset. He has really great topics that I think. So if you've been like lacking on one, like training and stuff like that, I would suggest coming in every Monday on top of the Monday meeting. I know you guys can't see this here, but this Wednesday, on September 11th, we're starting off our first guest speaker. I think it's going to be a really good session for all of you guys. How many people do leases and work with landlords and all that here, or investors? Or you're selling tenanted properties, buying tenanted properties, all that stuff, right? There's a lot of rules, and it scares the crap out of me when I have an agent that says, hey, I want to list a property. It's tenanted. How do we kick them out? And that scares me that you don't understand the laws, because there's a lot to it. So we're having Stonegate Legal. She's a paralegal. She's coming in here on Wednesday at 11:30. We'll also have it on Zoom, but she's going to be talking about listing and selling, like buying properties that have tenants in it and what those rules are. So she'll talk about N12s, cash for money. She's going to actually talk about how us realtors should not be involved with the tenant issues, and really just like the paperwork, what clauses we should have if you want a vacant possession, if you're purchasing a property. So I think it's going to be a really great session to come to. So that's this Wednesday here at 11:30. And then again, we'll do Monday meeting. Next Wednesday, I'm going to encourage you guys all to go off site. Richard Robbins is back in town. Have any of you guys gone to the Richard Robbins events? Nobody? Does anyone not know who Richard Robbins is? Okay. So Richard Robbins is another professional real estate coach. So again, we're your brokers. There's professional coaches out there that actually teach you guys about scripts and training and presentations. These are people that you need to pay attention to. Richard Robbins has been coming around for many years. He's probably one of my favorite Canadian coaches, to be honest. So he's going to be in Ajax at the Ajax Convention Center. He's going to be doing a half-day free event. So you just have to show up. You might have to sign up, but they've got coffee and stuff there. But he's going to be doing 3 hours where he's just going to be talking about different tips. I think the topic is future-proofing your business. So just go there, listen. It's at a hotel. There's other local agents that will be there. And he's probably going to be selling his actual event, which is going to be happening in November. He'll probably give a discount code. Again, I'm going to be encouraging you guys to be attending some sort of training events, whether it's through the office or offsite with the coaches. So that's one I would look out for. Is anyone planning on going to that actually?
The big thing.
The big one.
Yeah.
Perfect. I've gone to the big one probably 3 or 4 times. I love it. I like going to his things. So it's usually expensive now. It's probably $1,200 by now. Is that about right?
They had a team price, like they had a.
Yeah. So next week, they'll probably give you that discount price, and then it's going to skyrocket up into the thousands. But I think it's a worth it. What's that? Next week, it's at, I put 11. I think it's 9 to 12. So I'll send out an email with that.
I think it's dumped down to 2 days in September.
It's 2 days? Okay.
So that's what it was last.
Great session. So after that, the week Claire will be the only one doing a meeting, but we have the Century 21 Canadian Conference that's coming up in Ottawa on the 23rd to 26th. I think there's a few people in this group that are coming. There will not be a live training session. I'm going to try to go live. I'm actually speaking on the stage at conference. So I'm going to be talking about lead generation and marketing through social media platforms. I'm going to try to figure out, I have a videographer coming. We're going to see if we can try to figure out how to get it on Zoom for you guys live when I'm talking. If I can't, I am getting it recorded. So I'll send you guys the recording. So that will kind of be your training session that day, is going to be a live session from the conference on social media. Should be fun. It's like 3 days. I encourage everyone to go to that. It's a great opportunity to meet your referral partners in the Century 21 Canada platform. So you get to meet people from Alberta, BC, Quebec. I get tons of you guys reaching out saying, hey, who do we know in New Brunswick, or who do I know in Quebec? And I meet these people at the conference to give to you guys. So most of the referrals I give to you guys are typically people that we've actually met and have relationships with in person. So if you find that you're doing a lot of referral business, these are really great conferences to go to. And then to end it off, we're going to be doing the Systems for Success program. It's going to be 6 weeks. So if anybody has been looking to organize your business, I get lots of you guys reaching out saying, hey, I need to work on my listing presentation, need to work on my buyer's presentation. Oh, my schedule sucks. Like, everyone feels disorganized. This entire 6 weeks is really just to focus on how to organize your business. It's one of my favorite topics to talk about, which is systems, which can be very boring, but it's really setting yourself up for a step-by-step business. So on October 2nd, I'm going to be talking about those 5 systems and what that 6-week program is going to look like. And then you can decide if you want to commit to having an accountability to it. The difference from last year is I will not be recording this to send out to you guys. So it is you have to come to the session, whether you're live online or in person, but I will not be sending recordings out. And that's not to be mean, that's to hold you accountable into this career for just 6 weeks. So you just have to attend for a couple hours each week on Wednesdays. And they're going to be things such as, I'm going to teach you guys how to find clients. So lead generation and marketing. So we'll talk about all the different types of platforms, not just social media, but we'll talk about farming, open houses, all that good stuff. I'll talk about how to organize your CRM. So you guys all have access to a CRM, but a lot of you don't know how to use one. So we'll talk about what to do when you get clients and what to do with the contact information, how to nurture those relationships. Then I'm going to go through a buyer system, which is going to talk you like how to do a consultation, what questions to ask them, what happens at the showings, what paperwork you're doing, how to negotiate, all the way to what it looks like for closing. So we will be talking about paperwork a lot during that session as well. The listing presentation, I'm going to teach you guys how to present and get a listing. What to do to market the listing. So not on top of MLS, how to put it on social media, how to do an open house, how to promote the property to get another listing. And then we'll end it with communication and then getting your schedule all set up. So I think it's going to be a really great 6 weeks. I am not charging you guys for this. You guys can go to a Richard Robbins for 2 days and spend a few $1,000s, but I will not be charging you guys for this program. It is a paid program. Other brokerages pay for their agents to go through this. So you guys get it for free, but I can't give you guys the recordings because it is a paid program. So that's the reason behind that. Will this open? No, this doesn't even show you guys. I wish I could show you guys this, but I did take a couple weeks off from vacation or for working, but I really just spent my time creating checklists for you guys. So I have hundreds and hundreds of checklists. Only my online people can see this, but I've got checklists for what to do to prepare for the market, if you're preparing for photography, if your clients are preparing for moving, any type of checklist that you could send for either yourself or for your clients. I'm going to be giving you guys tons of templates and resources and presentations and guides at the 6-week program. So if this is something that you guys are interested in, then you have to come to those. So I think that's about it. It's going to be a big month. Back to school. Today I'm going to send you guys a business plan to put in, like, to kind of work on if you guys want to just kind of sit down with your thoughts. I'm going to send you guys out a business plan today. And then I'm going to send you guys out lots of reminders with all these dates and everything. So hopefully you guys are looking to get back on track, and hopefully this helps out.
Good,
I think
thank
that's
you.
it.
Welcome
That's a
back.
lot. I
You
know.
Came back in.
Came back hot.
Is everyone going to attend the 6-week training? How many of you are going to attend for sure? Okay, good.
Perfect. Online or in
I'm
person?
just gonna make a comment here first, it's an industry comment. I've noticed this for hundreds of years. I'm looking at the old guys here. People pay Katelyn for this program, other brokers from other
A lot.
provinces. But because she's here, we take it for granted,
Yes.
right? Whereas
Extra charge.
where other people actually pay her to do this session here, I mean, she's gonna do it, you guys, because it's part of our group here. So had she done a Rich Robbins and done a free lunch someplace and announced that you guys pay her $2,000 and do this course.
Yeah.
So don't take it, you know,
Should be like the grocery store.
Yeah.
don't take it for granted what Katelyn's doing here, because it's very powerful.
It'll be 11:30 on Wednesdays. Probably only an hour each week on each topic. But yeah, it is a very expensive program that we do, and you get a lot of templates, a lot of resources from it. You get our listing presentations, our buyer presentations, our checklists, CRMs, everything you can think of, you will get. But yeah, like Claire said, a lot of you guys don't like to listen because you get to hear from me way too often. But I think it's a really great program.
So it's like that old book there. What was it called? I forget the author. Is it Nightingale? Talk about the field of diamonds. I think we talked about this.
Maybe.
Acres of Diamonds. Who is it? Nightingale? Who wrote that?
Yeah.
You know,
No. It goes way back. It's Nightingale, or it's one of these old guys that wrote back in the Norman Hill, maybe Norman Hill or Nightingale.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Have all the
so whole
checklists here
story
for
is
you.
this South African farmer wants to get rich, so he sells his farm. He's been slaving on this farm forever. Finally gets tired. He wants to go in the mountains and find diamonds. So he sells his farm and goes to the mountains to find diamonds. Doesn't find it. He goes back a couple years later and goes to his old farmer and says, "What's going on?" The guy's rich. "What's going on?" "I was digging your field here and I found all these diamonds." Right. So the whole point is that all you need, everything you need is right in front of you. It's right there. Just have to take advantage of it. That was the moral of the story.
True, that's good. Before we sign off, does anyone have any listings they want to talk about? I think we opened up with that anyways. No. Bran, otherwise, are we ready for ice cream downstairs? Okay, thank you so much, everybody. We'll see you next Monday. It's not a
See you Wednesday at listing and selling tenanted properties.
See you Wednesday. Have a good week.